Hello, my name is Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have an update for my eyeshadow rotation project. This one was maybe not so exciting and not my best, but I'm going to go ahead and give the update so we can roll in the new shades. So, the palette that I was using along with it was the Stone Vibes palette. I only needed one more use of this palette to get my 5 for the year. And it was fine. I did have that look. I enjoy using it. I even reached into it for some other shades while I had it around, but that's all I need for it for the year, so I don't have to pull it back in. As far as these shadows go, I did actually use all of the required ones, the 4 times each. Some of them only needed another couple because I'd used them before. And some of these shades didn't need any uses. I'm just wanting to, improve the color story or get more uses on them anyway. It does look a little different from when I pulled it in because the shades on the far right, I was kind of playing with different ones, to layer on top. But basically, the shades that I needed to use were just boring and not my favorite. I really don't enjoy gray eyeshadow. Like that bottom left shade, it didn't really matter how I used it. I used it with warm tone shadows, I used it with cooler tone shadows, and just still not a favorite. Okay, now it is time to roll in the new shades. I could show you the spinner because I do have the recording, but honestly, there were a bunch I had to skip just because they were shades I'd already finished and they weren't used up on the wheel yet. So I just thought it would be really boring to include that. I'm just going to go ahead and show you the shades. So the shades that I rolled in were the first 4 shades that you're seeing that I'm swatching. And it was really good because the very first shade there was one I was planning on rolling in anyway because it was close to uses. And in case you're new here, by the way, the way this project works is I roll in 4 shades randomly from my collection, and then I want to get 4 uses on them. But since I'm pulling in other colors as well, then those are also getting uses. So right now I am trying to pull from the shades I have left if I feel like they work with a color story. So after I had those initial 4 shades, I'm looking through, seeing what other shades I want to bring in, and I did have some different reds and oranges that still need to get used, and I figured they would go together. Because my last color story was so uninspiring, I wanted to make this one just different. I wanted, that I could go different directions with it. So I have some neutral tones, but then I have some bright colors. I have, the random green shimmer. I have some purpley kinds of tones. Just, I want to mix and match the colors and see if that helps. I really didn't have many looks to share from this last palette just because I was kind of just using a shadow here or there with other palettes and other looks, and not really getting one cohesive look from the palette, and that was sort of what I wanted. The Cosmos I had to pull back in because I was really enjoying it near the end of the last rotation. So I figured, well, why not go ahead and get more uses with it? And then, some of these are just, again, fun shimmer shades to hopefully jazz things up. I apologize, both the blurriness because my camera wasn't adjusting back and forth, but also I definitely ran out of room for my swatches. I should have started further, closer to my hand. So yeah, swatching it on my bicep was a challenge, but I did it. Also trying to get it all in the frame was, fun. I did think it was interesting. I almost ended up Christmassy with the red and green, but I'm not necessarily planning on pairing those together, so we'll see what I do with the green. I just figured if I only had green shadows together, then I would feel like I need to do monochromatic. So maybe throwing in this green will mix things up. It is dark enough, so maybe I'll use it as a liner shade. Or maybe it'll be fun when I layer some of these other ones on top of it. And so this was just me kind of playing around. If I was, layering some of these shadows, what kinds of combos could I get? So if I took a purple shadow as the base, or if I took this, I don't know, it's like a warmer, shimmery, whatever, what do you want to call that shade there? I don't know. But I put Shattered Stars on top of both, and you get a very different look, I feel like, on top of the two. So, something I might want to try to play with. Okay, so now I had the challenge of figuring out what palette I would want to have alongside this. Because honestly, I feel like I have sort of a fun color story. I've got some lighter colors, some fun shimmers, some variety in my mattes, different shadows I can layer things on top. I thought that Juicy Boost might be good just because it's got some yellows in it, which when I was going through to see which shadows still need to get used of my Juicy Boost, the yellows surprisingly need to get used. Not as surprising are the oranges, but I figure that those would work well with the shades here. They'd also give me some other bright options. I only need one or two more looks with the Juicy Boost palette, so not much. And so, just kind of pointing out these are the different shades that still need to get the 4 uses. Or less, that they might have already had a use or two, but they are not at the 4 uses yet at the time of filming this. So, it's not that many, and that would certainly help finish off this palette and a bunch of shades. So I think it will also help because some of the shades are a little bit dark in my palette that I made, so I can have some brightness with the Juicy Boost shades as well. So I think that this will be an interesting rotation. So stay tuned if you want to know how it's going to turn out. Until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye.